Ladies and gentlemen, certainly, here is an intro for your motivational speech in the reflective, calm, and disciplined style of Shi Heng Yi, rooted in wisdom, clarity, and depth. And yet, some people rise while others fall. Some grow while others remain the same. The difference is not in time, the difference is in how we use it. Every morning, the universe gives us a silent gift, 400 seconds. What we do with them is not just a matter of productivity, it is a reflection of our awareness, our discipline, and our intention. Time is the one thing you cannot earn back. You cannot buy it, borrow it, or steal it. So the question becomes, are you using your time in a way that supports your inner growth, or are you letting it slip away, moment by moment, lost in distraction? In the Shaolin tradition, every movement, every breath, every hour is purposeful. There is no wasted motion, no wasted day. So today, let us explore how to live in alignment with that principle, how to honor the 24 hours we are given, not with haste, but with meaning, not with urgency, but with clarity. Discipline shapes how time serves you, not the other way around. Time is neutral. It moves forward regardless of what you do with it. It does not speed up for those who are lazy, nor does it slow down for those who are busy. This means time in itself is not your servant, but with discipline you can make time work for you. Without discipline, time becomes a mirror reflecting your scattered actions, your distractions, and your missed opportunities. When discipline enters your life, it is not about strictness or force. It is about choosing consciously again and again how to act. Discipline is what gives form to time. It transforms a day from chaos into structure, from noise into clarity. Imagine a warrior waking up before the sun rises. The first moments of his day are not wasted in indecision. He moves with purpose. He meditates. He trains. He eats with awareness. He breathes fully. This is not because he has more time than others. It is because he understands the sacredness of his hours. Discipline makes that sacredness visible, and in contrast, imagine the mind without discipline. It wakes up late, it scrolls endlessly, it reacts instead of acts, it wanders, it delays. In such a mind, time becomes the enemy, always running out, never enough, always slipping away. But it is not time that slips away. It is our grip on awareness that loosens when discipline is absent. Discipline also teaches you rhythm. Like the beat of a drum in meditation, it creates a cadence to your day. You begin to understand that certain hours are meant for silence. Certain hours are meant for movement. Certain hours are for reflection. Certain hours are for rest. Discipline is not just about what you do, it is about when and how you do it. It gives your life a certain order, and in that order, clarity emerges. With clarity, your time becomes valuable, not because of how much you have, but because of how well you use it. There is a reason monks live by a schedule that rarely changes. It is not to become robots. It is to free the mind from constant decision-making and bring it into harmony with purpose. Each hour in a monk's life is dedicated to a specific intention. There is a time to train the body, a time to nourish it, a time to train the mind, a time to rest. This alignment creates inner stillness. From the outside, it may look like repetition. From the inside, it feels like liberation. When you live with discipline, your time no longer controls you. You control how your time is expressed. Discipline is the architect of freedom. It may sound like a contradiction, but true freedom is not doing what you want when you want. True freedom is having the strength to do what you must, even when you don't feel like it. This strength does not appear suddenly. It is cultivated daily through small acts of will, through routines that align with your goals, through choices that reflect long-term purpose rather than short-term pleasure. Over time, these small disciplines build a powerful momentum, and that momentum carries you forward even on the days when your motivation fades. Time respects discipline. It rewards those who live with intention. If you study the life of any great teacher, any great warrior, any enlightened master, you will see not only wisdom, you will see rhythm, you will see repetition, you will see simplicity. All of these are born from discipline. They use their time not to impress, but to evolve. They do not chase after hours, they shape their hours with presence. In this way, discipline turns time into a tool, not a trap. It transforms a single day into a path of mastery. Every hour carries potential, but only awareness unlocks it. From the moment we wake up to the time we lay our heads to rest, the day presents countless opportunities. These moments are like seeds scattered throughout time. Some are small and subtle, others are powerful and clear, but none of them grow unless they are noticed. And this is where awareness becomes essential. Awareness is the light that helps you see the value hidden in each passing hour. Without it, even the most valuable opportunities go unseen. The truth is, most people do not lack opportunity, they lack the stillness to see it when it arrives. To be aware is not to be busy. It is not to be constantly doing something. Awareness is a quiet presence, a calm attentiveness to what is unfolding both around you and within you. When you cultivate awareness, you begin to observe how many moments you normally overlook. You see how many times you could have listened deeply, moved intentionally, spoken wisely, or paused to breathe. Without awareness, the day becomes a blur. It passes by in routine, in distraction, in noise. With awareness, the same day becomes a space of learning, of growth, of creation. An hour is not simply 60 minutes. It is a container for what you choose to bring into it. If you enter an hour with confusion, that hour reflects your chaos. If you enter it with awareness, it becomes a field of possibility. When you practice mindfulness, even ordinary tasks carry depth. Drinking tea becomes a ceremony, walking becomes meditation, listening becomes understanding. These are not small shifts. These are the beginnings of living with presence. And once presence enters your life, time feels different. It no longer rushes you. It stretches, expands, and softens. This same amount of time becomes more nourishing, more productive, and more meaningful, not because anything outside changed, but because you changed your way of being. Many people wait for the perfect moment to act, to grow, to change. But the perfect moment is not a point in the future. It is the hour you are in right now, made perfect by your awareness. When you are fully present, you begin to see that even in silence, there is a lesson. Even in stillness, there is energy. Even in discomfort, there is wisdom. The problem is not that life does not speak to us. The problem is that we rarely listen. Awareness is that listening. It is that attention. And once you start to live with it, you begin to find answers in the places you never thought to look. Awareness also protects your energy. It shows you where your time leaks away, where your attention is stolen, where your focus is scattered. You begin to realize how much time is lost, not because you are doing too little, but because you are doing too many things that do not align with your purpose. With awareness, you reclaim that time. You start to say no to noise and yes to clarity. You let go of what distracts and hold on to what matters. Slowly, your hours begin to reflect your intentions. Your schedule becomes a reflection of your inner values. Your choices become deliberate. Your presence becomes grounded. There is a deep difference between existing through time and truly living in time. To live in time is to feel each moment fully, to engage with life from a place of depth rather than surface. It means that even during routine days, you carry a sense of wonder and attentiveness. The more aware you become, the more you realize that greatness is not hidden in extraordinary events. It is found in how you handle ordinary hours. With enough awareness, each hour becomes sacred, each task becomes purposeful, each interaction becomes meaningful. This is how potential is awakened, not in distant dreams, but in the quiet, conscious use of your time today. What you prioritize reveals what you truly value. It is easy to speak of goals, dreams, and ambitions, but your daily choices tell the truth more clearly than any words ever could. Every time you decide where to put your energy, your focus, and your attention, you are silently expressing your values. Even when you say you want something, if your actions are not aligned with that desire, then what you truly value lies somewhere else. Life is shaped not by what we hope for, but by what we consistently give time to. If you say health is important but rarely exercise, then comfort or convenience may be your true priority. If you say growth matters but spend your time avoiding challenges, then safety might be your deeper value. Clarity begins when you start observing your choices. Each day you are presented with 24 hours. That is 440 minutes. How many of those are spent with purpose? How many are spent with distraction? This is not a judgment, it is an invitation to examine yourself honestly. Because once you recognize that your time is not just passing, but actively revealing who you are and what you value, you gain the power to choose more consciously. You begin to understand that your calendar, your routine, your habits, these are not random. They are reflections of your inner world. To live a disciplined life is to align your priorities with your principles, but before alignment can happen, you must first know what your principles are. What do you truly stand for? What matters most to you, not in theory, but in your lived experience? Ask yourself, where do you invest your time when no one is watching? That is where your values are most visible. The beauty of this awareness is that it opens the door to transformation. You do not have to be a prisoner to past priorities. You can change, you can realign, but the change must begin with honesty. Many people want better results, but they are not willing to examine their current routines. They want to succeed, but continue to waste their most valuable hours. They want peace, but fill their days with noise. They want growth, but resist discomfort. The outer world cannot be fixed without first adjusting the inner compass. Your priorities are the compass. They determine the direction of your life. When you say yes to one thing, you automatically say no to something else. Every yes has a price. The question is whether what you say yes to is worthy of your limited time and energy. In a world filled with options, distractions, and endless stimulation, it becomes even more important to guard your time. Without clear priorities, you will be pulled in every direction, scattered, reactive, and drained. But when your priorities are clear, your time becomes a tool for building, not just surviving. You don't try to do everything, you do what matters. You let go of the unnecessary so you can give your full attention to the essential. This creates depth, and from that depth comes fulfillment, clarity, and purpose. You will never control every circumstance around you, but you always have the ability to choose your priorities. Even during the busiest days, you can find small moments that reflect what you value. A few minutes of silence, a focused task done with care, a genuine conversation, a commitment honored. These moments are not accidental, they are built through intention, and the more intentional you become, the more aligned your life feels. Misalignment creates stress, alignment brings flow. The key is not to fill your schedule with more tasks, but to fill it with what reflects your true self. The outer life must reflect the inner values. When that happens, even ordinary days become meaningful. Even the smallest tasks feel connected to something greater. Inner peace requires outer structure. Manage your day to master your mind. The state of your external world often influences the condition of your internal world. When your day is chaotic, unplanned, and reactive, the mind absorbs that chaos. But when your day is structured with clarity and discipline, the mind begins to mirror that calmness. Many people search for peace through retreats, silence, or distant places, but often overlook the simplest path to peace, creating order in the hours they already have. A calm mind does not grow from a scattered life. It grows from a life that understands rhythm, balance, and intentional flow. The day is a container. How you fill that container determines what energy you carry. If the container is filled with constant distractions, rushed actions, and no clear boundaries, your mind becomes restless. Thoughts spiral, decisions become harder, and stress multiplies. But when your day begins with purpose, when you know when to act, when to rest, when to be alone, when to engage, then the mind no longer needs to fight against the unknown. Structure becomes a foundation for peace, not a restriction. Like the steady beat of a drum, it provides rhythm, and from rhythm comes calm. In ancient traditions, from monks to martial artists, the daily schedule is not left to chance. Every activity has its time, and every moment is treated with respect. Whether it is waking before sunrise, dedicating time to physical training, nourishing the body mindfully, or spending time in silence, every action is framed within a structure. This is not because these people lack freedom, but because they understand that true freedom begins with inner mastery, and inner mastery requires discipline. The more structured the outer world, the more space the mind has to be still. This structure removes the noise, so clarity can emerge. Many people resist structure because they associate it with control or boredom. But what they don't see is that without structure, time slips away unnoticed. When you do not set the frame, the world sets it for you. Notifications, interruptions, and obligations begin to rule your day. You become reactive instead of proactive. You chase instead of create. But with structure, you decide where your energy goes. You protect your attention. You give yourself the best conditions to think clearly and act wisely. The external schedule becomes a container for internal stillness. To manage your day is to become aware of how each hour impacts your inner state. It means learning when you are most focused, when you need to rest, and when you must protect silence. Not all hours are the same. Some are for output, others for reflection. Some are for movement, others for stillness. By mapping your day with intention, you begin to optimize both your actions and your mindset. The structure is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters with full presence at the right time. That presence is what cultivates peace. When the day flows with awareness, there is less resistance. You no longer fight against time, you move with it. The morning has its place, the evening has its purpose, and the moments in between become sacred. This flow allows the mind to soften. There is less noise, fewer decisions to make, and more energy available for deep thinking and real connection. Even when challenges arise, a structured life offers stability. You have anchors, you have habits that support you, you know where your attention belongs, and that knowing creates space in the mind. Structure is a discipline that frees you. It removes what is unnecessary so you can focus on what truly matters. It turns the hours of your life into stepping stones, not stumbling blocks. It offers your mind a place to rest and your soul a space to grow. Without this structure, peace becomes a fleeting moment. But with it, peace becomes a state you return to throughout the day. The mind no longer needs to fight for calm, it begins to live from it. You don't lack time, you lack mindful direction. The modern world is full of voices telling you to move faster, do more, and stay busy. But busyness is not the same as purpose. Activity is not the same as progress. The truth is, most people have more than enough time. What they lack is clarity about where they are going and why. Without direction, time becomes fragmented. Hours are filled with distractions, obligations, and noise that lead nowhere meaningful. When you have no clear aim, you are pulled in every direction, and every path begins to feel equally urgent, even when none of them truly matter. Mindful direction begins with a pause. It requires stepping back from the speed of life and asking a deeper question. What truly matters to me, not what impresses others, not what society expects, but what aligns with your values, your purpose, and your unique path. Without this understanding, the days blur into each other. You might be doing many things, but none of them are rooted. You wake up and go through motions, but there is no inner compass guiding those motions. Time slips away not because it is insufficient, but because it is unfocused. The human mind is powerful when it is clear, but scattered when it is distracted. If you wake up without intention, the world decides your day for you. Messages, alerts, meetings, and entertainment begin to fill your mind before you've even taken your first conscious breath. And by the time you realize it, the morning is gone, then the afternoon, then the evening. And still, nothing important has moved forward. This cycle repeats not because you are lazy, but because you are not living with direction. Direction is not a grand plan for the next 10 years. It is the decision to make this hour count, to live this day with purpose, to align your actions with your deeper truth. Mindful direction also demands simplicity. You cannot aim at everything at once. You must choose what matters and give it your full energy. This requires courage. It means saying no to distractions. It means releasing the fear of missing out. It means being willing to walk a path that may not be popular, but is deeply meaningful to you. When you have direction, you no longer chase every opportunity. You begin to recognize which ones are aligned and which ones are not. You no longer rush through your day hoping something important will happen. You move with awareness, knowing that each step is part of a greater whole. Many people think they are overwhelmed because they have too much to do, but often they are overwhelmed because they lack clarity. When you know where you're going, decisions become easier, energy becomes more focused, time feels more spacious. Even your mistakes feel purposeful because they are part of the journey. Without direction, even the smallest task can feel exhausting. With direction, even the hardest challenge becomes meaningful. The difference is not time, it is attention guided by intention. When your life has direction, your time becomes sacred. You begin to protect it not from a place of fear, but from a place of wisdom. You understand that every hour invested in what does not align with your purpose is an hour taken away from what truly matters. You begin to organize your environment, your schedule, your thoughts, so they all support your path. This creates momentum. It brings your life into harmony. Suddenly, your time is no longer scattered across 100 meaningless tasks. It is focused, calm, and powerful. Mindful direction is what turns ordinary time into a life of mastery. It gives shape to your days and purpose to your actions. It brings clarity to the mind and peace to the heart. Without it, you are simply reacting. With it, you are creating. You are building something meaningful, not just moving through time, but rising through it with intention, awareness, and strength.